Hello there and welcome back to No Man's Land. We're here at the lumberyard because I have something very interesting to show you. You might remember we had a Chevy C70 truck on the farm. Not really doing much, it was for hauling grain and stuff, had a big dump truck on it. Well, the guys here at the lumber mill noticed me go by with it when I moved here, and I came and sold some wood and got talking to a fella that works here that collects old Chevys, and he was after my pickup truck, but I wasn't going to sell him that. But when he started asking me about the C70, I said I'd happily sell it because I'd not finished the work I was going to do on it, and there was no chance of really doing that now. I didn't have the energy for it, and it ran well. It had a new engine. The paintwork needed touching up, but other than that, it was in a pretty good state. So he offered me a fair price for it, but I said I couldn't really justify selling it without getting a replacement truck in, and there's no chance I could really afford something brand new at the time or anything like that. So he proposed a trade, and he's given me this wonderful Mac B61. Original interior, brand new engine, fantastic shape. I gave him also $15,000 towards it because he could have got an absolute fortune for it, and I think it's a pretty fair deal. So we're going to take this back to the farm. I'll just show you inside first. Here we go. All original, no radio, no CD player. Get it started up. You'll notice there is a dramatic change in the bank balance, but we'll come to that as the video goes on. I'll get this back to the farm first, and then I'll start addressing where all my money's gone. I think it's all been well spent. We'll soon decide. I'll see you in a mo. So we are back just towards the farm, and if you look behind us you'll see we've got a cattle trailer, which is where a good sum of the money has gone. And in that cattle trailer we've got our first bunch of sheep. So you'll see over here I have been busy. Most of this I did alone, putting in the fence. The big barn over there, which is going to act as shelter in the winter months for the sheep. Only spent about $4,000 on it altogether. Not very much for the barn at all. It was transported here, rebuilt, so labour costs were the biggest thing in the transportation of all the barn. The previous owner paid for bringing it down. So now we've got a fantastic looking sheep pasture right next to the field we started putting in the last video. So I'll swing around here and try and back this up. So we've got all merino sheep for wool production mainly. We'll get them in there. That bunch will do for today, because I've just spent about 6 hours of my day driving them backwards and forwards. And we will do some work getting them settled in. First job will be water, and I will show you where some of our money has gone. Take this shortcut. You see the roads are starting to have taken shape a bit more where we've been driving around over the last few weeks, and had a few hikers coming out this way as well. I've already got the water tank full, and it is pretty beat up, but it holds water well. So you've got some grass planted in that small field there. See what else I've got to show you. Leave this here for now. Everything in there I think you will have seen. Old Italian baler. Got a mower there, he's new. Old cultivator. This is new, what we spent money on, $19,500 bale wrapper, Anderson one. And recording the last video I did have this, I think I mentioned it, here's the gravity wagon. Here's the shed built now, you get a look at that. Didn't really show that off last time. Got a few drums of oil in here as well that I've bought. We had these last time, but this is also where some of the money has gone this time. Old Massey Ferguson planter for planting our corn. Cost me about $20,000. And then these fertilising tools I had last time. So let's grab the Massey Ferguson and take some water around to the sheep. And we'll see how they're doing. So I think all in all, since the last video, spent about 15,000. Yeah, we were slipping a bit there. Spent 15,000 on the Mac, 20,000 on the planter, 19,500 on the cattle truck, 19,500 on the bale wrapper, about 4,000 getting the barn over here. So that is where the majority of the money's gone, and that, I think that's all our spending done now. We've got everything I can think of in the way of what we'll need to work our land. Still having trouble finding a reasonably priced food mixer for getting cattle, and at the moment I've only space to keep maybe half a dozen at the most. So I thought there's no way I can justify buying a new one, which looking at $50,000 for. So that's when I decided to start work on getting a sheep pasture put in. So I got all the wood, which was mostly waste wood from the lumber mill. Fair price for that. So I transported most of it down here, got to work and realised I didn't quite have enough to come up to this road, so I did cut it short at this funny angle. But I'm very happy with it. There's the water, and I think I'll leave this tank out here for them. And we will get them a bale or two of hay as well. They should have plenty of grass in there anyway, but give them something else to munch on just in case. They look alright to me. Let's have a look on the, because that trough's full. Yeah. Don't even need to bring a bale over for them. So yeah, I can't justify getting a mixer for the sake of 4 cows, especially spending 50,000 on one. I've not found a decent second-hand one in the area up for sale. So I'm thinking I might put off purchasing cows for now, because without being able to mix TMR for them, if we're going for beef cattle, we're just not going to be able to fatten them up as quicker as well, just on hay and grass and silage, without making some total mixed ration. So I think what we'll do, seeing as though they don't need to be fed any hay, don't need to take them a bale over, they've got plenty over there, I reckon we'll do some seeding. We'll get the wheat in. Let's get the barn open. Oops. Put this guy to bed and I will be back in a moment and we'll be ready to do some seeding. So we've got the Massey Ferguson filled up with corn seed. We're going to take it out to our field by the sheep over here and see how this thing handles. I've not actually tried it out, so this could be a disaster. Fingers crossed it works just fine and it's not been $20,000 down the drain. So I'll turn it on and get it lowered. It does have room for fertiliser in it as well, so we could fertilise whilst we do this at the same time. I don't have any solid fertiliser in at the moment anyway, but we do have the spreaders. Excuse me, we do have the spreaders, so we can just do it at a later date, no trouble. I'll get a headland done and then probably start going up and down. I was also busy a few days ago planting some saplings up on that hill. I got a pretty good deal. Oh, we got covered in lime fast. Got a pretty good deal on a crate of saplings for my first purchase. So I got them dug in, planted them myself. It was a day's work. There's about 20 of them up there, I think. Oh, there is 20 of them up there exactly. I didn't really plant them to any rhyme or reason, so who knows what it'll look like in a few years when they've grown, but they are up there. And if we do any logging, especially in the winter months, give ourselves a second source of income, we'll have to make sure we do try and be sustainable and replant what we take away from this area. And this planter's doing a great job. And I quite like the model as well. The only problem with this is none of our tractors have GPS, so I've drifted a bit there as well. That's probably going to be too wide to get all in one swoop. Struggled a bit there. Oh, because I've hit B by accident. Whoops. Don't need a worker, thank you. Let's swing back around here. Let's try and get this bit. Oops. We might just be alright. Look at that, perfect. That'll do me nicely. Get him lifted. I did make this field a bit longer in the end, you'll notice. But I don't think I've overextended myself at all. In fact, I could have probably gone larger, but quite happy with it for now. And we've got enough supplies to last us quite some time. Probably went a bit overboard with what I bought. Like, got lime to probably last us a couple of years with just these fields we've got at the moment. And same for seeds. If I just do corn in this field, I've probably got... I've barely gone through it at all. Probably got enough seeds for a few decades. Now our seed level will be going down so slow because of the real numbers mod. And there is in the readme file an explanation of how we got all the numbers, and seeds should use accurate numbers, and whether it is accurate or not, I don't know. In the game at the moment. But then we've used 10 litres of seed on all this. 10 litres of seeds is a lot of seeds. But it's hard to get your head around what is accurate from only having played Farm Simulator, and that's where my knowledge of farming really comes from. And those warped figures will forever warp what seems right and what seems inaccurate. So I might have a read and see what it comes up with. how he's calculated what seed to use, and maybe, I know this isn't affected by the spread rate mod, but maybe the spread rate mod does interfere with it, so I might turn that one off. But my lime usage seemed perfectly reasonable. Just how far can a litre of seed go? It's not something I've ever really considered. So I'm going to leave this video here whilst I ponder the complex nature of how far a litre of seeds could go. And with that we should get accurate yield, and so we'll see what happens, and if it's not seeming right, we can always take the mod off, although I do really like it for the accurate sell prices, which is something I'd prefer to have in the game. But anyway, leave this one here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.